How do you get things done without pushing yourself and pushing past your limits and putting yourself in a situation where your health is actually at risk and that you are suffering from burnout? How do you do it? I'm going to chat to you some of the things that I do to prevent this from happening, and they have really worked. And I want to share them with you today in the hopes that it might help you. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany and this is Into Life Homeschool. My channel is all about homeschooling, motherhood and organisation. So if those are things that you're interested in, those are things that you're working on, I invite you to subscribe, hit that bell for the notification button so you don't miss the next video. Before we start the video, I really wanted to talk to you about what is burnout. I used to think it was actually a myth. I didn't think it was actually a real thing that happened. Until it happened to me. And it really is a thing that happens to people. Burnout is a state of mental and physical exhaustion. It sucks the joy from everything that you do. You do not want to end up burnt out. If you are feeling like this, you need to talk to someone. You need to see a healthcare professional. I am not a doctor. I am just a simple homeschool mum sharing my experiences of the last couple of years of having some pretty unhealthy patterns which have led me to burnout time and time again, and realizing that I have on my journey with simplifying my life, going more minimal and approaching life from a different avenue and a different mindset has made me realize where I was going wrong and how common those things are. I know other homeschool mums, I've spoken to them, they feel the same way, and I think that a lot of us just don't talk about it as much as we should. So burnout is a real thing. Now that you know that, let's go get into the video and discuss how we can prevent it. I truly believe that home educators are one of the hardest working people on this planet. We are incredibly invested in what we do, and for that reason, we do tend to put our needs aside. And that's just reality. It's just something that we do have to do sometimes. There are things where our children do come first, and I get that because I've done that time and time again. But sometimes we get into a habit of just allowing that to happen. Whether it really is necessary or not, that's questionable. Here today, I just wanted to open the lines of communication and just chat a little bit about some stigmas around burnout, some things that we hold on to a little bit as home educators, hard on our sleeve and feel as if we're failing if we stop because it's our problem to deal with and that we should have prevented burnout from happening. So we just push through and onwards and upwards and till there really is nothing else left but to stop and rest. And today I wanted to chat about some things that I have realized over the last couple of years that I have been doing to myself to create burnout. I wanted to chat about, I've got 7 points really that I wanted to kind of bring to your attention. I have some signs that I look for that I'm just aware of, that are just on my radar now, that I can realize and stop and really kind of connect with the idea that I might be pushing myself too hard here. I might be heading towards burnout. These are some signs that I might need to just really look at what I'm doing and really reassess the direction that I'm heading right now. A couple of the signs that I find that I kind of realize that, okay, this is not me. This is not part of who I am necessarily. Like, this is not something that is part of my character to think this way. And it is a mental thing. It is my thought process. It is my mood. When I find that I am slightly more irritable, I'm more moody, and I feel like when things happen that are unpredictable or something that pops up, it feels like glass is half empty, not half full. I am a positive person by nature. I tend to be always looking on the bright side of things and always in, you know, in a position to be able to, like, if something bad happens, I can kind of always see the good side and like really think my way out of a situation that might be, you know, to some people like disastrous. So for me, in my personality, when I start thinking really negative thoughts like, oh, of course this would happen today. Of course it's raining and we're supposed to be going out and doing this, this, and this. Of course I have to go and get all the rain gear. And, you know, like just, you know, really those kinds of thoughts where you're just like, why does this have to happen to me? And, you know, that kind of like victim mentality, thinking like that for me is probably my most obvious sign that something's not right. I'm overdoing it. I'm becoming resentful of things that I would normally really appreciate and be okay with. So that is a sign. And that'll be different for everybody, but that is a prime example of something that really indicates to me that I need to stop in my tracks and I really need to think. So looking for your signs will look different, but that is kind of something that really signals to me that something is up. I'm not being myself. What is going on? And I can look at what's happening. Okay, so my second tip is to look at where you can simplify. So simplify literally everything in your home, not just your homeschool, but look at ways to simplify. And by that, I kind of mean, there's kind of this saying that, you know, think about all of the things that you have, the important jobs, okay? Visualize them as balls that you're juggling. Some of those balls are going to be just normal plastic balls that bounce, and other balls are going to be made of crystal or glass. They're breakable, they're fragile. So when you get a chance to sit down and actually kind of create 2 columns in a notebook, and just write on one side your plastic bouncy balls, and then write on the other side your crystal breakable fragile balls. Okay, so you're juggling these balls, and the plastic ones can be dropped. They'll bounce back. You can catch them again later. They're going to be things that you can pick back up later, right? The crystal balls are not. They're things that you have to do. They are things that cannot be stopped, that are your priority, and they mean a lot to you. Those are the things that you need to work out for yourself. But for me, some of those things are, you know, the crystal balls are my children. Okay, so what does that mean? So it means that they need to be clothed, they need to be fed, this is basic stuff, guys. Like, break it down to really simple things. Okay, we need to do school. It's important to me that we do school. What that looks like is very, very different to what it looks like when I'm not suffering from burnout or I'm not heading towards burnout and I need to simplify. When we're talking about simplifying, it's literally just thinking about what things you can cut out. So co-op, we don't need co-op necessarily. Is that something, you know, is that I need to figure out whether that's a crystal ball or if it's a bouncy ball, if it's something that I can drop for a season and pick back up when I'm up to handling it. So there are things that we need to figure out, right? And that is literally write it all down, create 2 columns and work out which side they belong. You know, therapies are crystal balls for us. They're non-negotiables. They're things that we need to do. However, they're not needing to be kept at the momentum that we're doing. I can slow it down. You know, instead of going fortnightly, we can go monthly. Sometimes we can have some home visits. There are things that we can do that we can look at and go, well, actually, it's not necessarily a crystal ball. It can be, you know, modified to just help myself just for this season, just for this time, this point in time in my life where I need to simplify. Okay, so go into simplify mode, put on a different vision, you know, think about how you can look at things differently and how you can really truly simplify things. Okay, because it's really going to help you just have a clearer mind on what is really important right now. My third point is sleep. Now, I know some of you are probably going to roll your eyes at me with this one, because I know in some of the forums that I'm a part of, home educators don't seem to sleep. And I didn't either. And that was one of my things. So as a child, I was one of those kids that really needed to get to sleep on time. Otherwise I lost my sanity. I have always been someone that has needed their sleep, and nothing has changed. Though I have been guilty of, working really, really late into the night. And I'm not one to actually find sleep to come easily either. So that is a really tricky one for me. But because I'm aware of it and I have made it a priority, I have taken steps to help me with that. And by that, I mean supplements. I've started taking supplements that help. I found a fantastic magnesium powder. It has really been helping. I spoke to my healthcare professional, and I recommend you do the same. Whoever you feel that is, worth seeing to talk about, increasing your sleep, helping you sleep better, helping you sleep deeper, and helping you having that really good restorative sleep. Often when I'm heading towards burnout, I notice my sleep slipping. I notice that I'm going to bed later, and I'm actually kind of waking up a little bit later, or I'm a little groggy and I feel really grumpy. Okay, so tip number 4 is creating a skeleton routine. So this is something that I've used over the last couple of years, and it really does help. So by skeleton routine, I don't know, I think I just came up with it. I don't know why I call it that, but it's kind of like, thinking of the most simple anatomy of what you need to accomplish in your homeschool. Here's the thing, if you've reached complete burnout, you're not going to be wanting to do this. You're going to be wanting to stop completely. But if you know that you're heading towards it and you just want to prevent it from happening, you still need the balls to keep moving. You still need, to be juggling those things. You still need to be working towards something. You don't want to end up, you don't want to feel like you're falling behind, but you're not, you are aware that you're running low on energy, you're feeling thin, worn out. This is the tip for you. So having a skeleton routine is simply just breaking down. So, cutting out all of the extras. So by extras, I mean things that you don't necessarily really have to have. So for me, that is simply just math, English. So math and English is my non-negotiables. We always will do that. I'm currently doing just a skeleton routine right now because this is the end of the year and we have a lot of extra other things that we're doing. We're doing lots of festive stuff and all of that kind of stuff. And that is really important to my kids. So that is something that they want to do. That's a non-negotiable for them. So we compromise and we cut out some of the extra stuff. Like, we're still doing science, but we're not doing history at the moment. We've replaced that with a couple of other fun, activity type stuff, festivity, celebrations, and all that sort of stuff. So that is something that you can consider doing in your homeschool and working out just what you're happy with doing. And it really does, cut your homeschool day down. And it really allows you to still feel like you're progressing and you're still accomplishing things. And it just feels lighter and easier and simpler. And you're still working towards the things that you want to work towards. You're still getting things done. And I know as a homeschool mum, that feels good. So sometimes that can really help to just kind of simplify, break it down, cut out the extra stuff for a little bit, and then just once you're feeling better, you can bring it back in. Just stagger those things and gradually add them in. And before you know it, you can be back to your normal, whatever your normal looks like. Tip number 5, opt out. And I mean this 110%. Opt out of things. Opt out of emails, opt out of social media. When we're really truly honest with where we're spending our time, especially when I'm heading towards that negative mindset, I tend to spend a lot more time on social media. Social media is something that feeds on negative feelings. Social media it can be a wonderful thing. It can connect us all together, but it also can be really isolating as well. when we're in a negative headspace, social media can feed on that a lot. And often we're only noticing the things that, you know, we wouldn't normally notice when we're in a negative mindset. You know, things like comparison, things like, you know, not feeling enough, not feeling good enough, not feeling skinny enough, not feeling pretty enough, all of those things, you know, not feeling accomplished enough. Also, you know, in your inbox, you know, opting out and unsubscribing to things, all of the noise can be exhausting, and it can contribute to that burnout very much. You know, all of the feelings of like having to, you know, do this or do that and be a part of this group and contribute in that group. We just need to opt out for a bit. And if that means, you know, you have to actually say, I'm not great right now, I need to focus on my family, lots of people do it. Lots of people do it, and it's okay to do that. So consider it. It's a point. It's worthy of consideration, and that's why I've included it in this video. Number 6 is communicate and delegate. So we need to, if we are aware that something negative is happening and we're running thin and running out of steam and feeling overwhelmed and heading towards burnout, we need to communicate that, especially to our partners and our kids. So that's up to you. I mean, that's a personal thing, but I did find it really helpful when I communicated that to my husband and my kids and even a couple of my friends as well. And it helps to have that support, and it just creates context as to why you might be doing things differently or talking about things in a negative state or being a little bit more kind of reserved or absent, you know, not checking in as much as you would, or just kind of like, you know, pulling away from people. We do it instinctively when things aren't great. Sometimes that can be taken as an offense. You know, people can take offense to that kind of behavior and not actually realizing there's a reason for the way you're acting right now, or your moodiness, or, you know, you saying, no, I can't meet up for a drink tonight, so sorry, not meeting the girls for dinner, you know, not participating in that activity at co-op or something like that. You have to put yourself first. But if you communicate that, you have to put yourself first. They can help you. They can encourage you. And you'd be surprised at how helpful that can be, and reassuring and comforting that can be to have a soft place to fall and let people know that, you know, you need help. You need to just have a little bit of help. My final tip is a simple one, and it's put everything that you can on autopilot. So I really like to just be able to, when I'm really overwhelmed in my busy season and feeling like I'm heading towards burnout, I like to try and autopilot everything that I would normally put more thought into. So for example, my groceries. I have, you know, a lot of online grocery stores have a purchase history, and you could just go through your purchase history and reorder the same thing. That's what I do. I have a list. I actually have a pre-made list that I created for busy times, and you can literally just go add to cart and it adds it all, and it will allow you to just be able to make the same foods every week until you're feeling better. And I know that sounds probably really boring, but it is something that, you know, if you're having healthy meals and it's just something that you can do, make sure that they're meals that are easy, that are under 30 minutes, that you can put together or someone else can put together, or you can do it as a group effort. Make it as simple as you can. Putting things into autopilot is just simply making sure that you've got a running list of things that need to be done each week, and that there's nothing up here for you to have to try and remember. It's out for everyone to see, so that on Wednesday the bins need to go out, on Thursday the bins need to come back in, on Friday we do our groceries, and this is the list, and let's just add this and this, because it's written up on the board. Like, try and autopilot everything you can. I have so much more to talk about on this subject, but I wanted to make it short and sweet because our time is precious, and I just wanted to just open up the conversation. So if you have some things that you incorporate in your homeschool to prevent burnout, share them below in the comments below. I'd love that. I'd love to know, and I'm sure everyone else would too that's watching this. Sometimes it is simply that you have had a hard season and that you are allowed to just be burnt out and you need a rest and you need time to recoup. And this is you being sick. This is a sick day. This is a period of time where you need to rest. You need to do the things that you can to make yourself feel better, stronger, and back to your healthy, beautiful self, so that you can be there for your kids 110%. And those kids are just fine with their mum and hanging out and doing simple things daily with you. They don't need to have all of the subjects done, all of the boxes ticked. You're enough. Just spend time with them, and that is okay, because it's just a small period of time where you need to just be working on yourself and helping yourself. And before you know it, you'll be back and better and beautiful and happy again, and you'll be able to give again. This is a busy role. This is a really tough gig sometimes, and other times it's wonderful, just like any job really. But I do know that homeschooling requires a whole lot of energy and a whole lot of determination and grit. And sometimes we don't have that. So I just wanted to make this video to open up and share with you that I've been there. I know what it's like. If you need someone to talk to, I'm always here to chat. But also just remember, communicate with those loved ones as well. It's really important to share when you're feeling this way. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it. It lets me know that I'm on the right track, making videos that you want to watch. Thank you for joining me, and take care of yourself. See you in the next video.